So I think the problem when you play online is like I think this game is a good idea of what you're gonna see way too often. Duality, Chain Maxi. Okay, cool. Funny joke, bro. Been funny since what 2012 or something. Oh well, let it resolve. I guess they just didn't want to see the thing. Ash Blossom, big old chicken, another duality. Screw it. Just add the Ash Blossom. Maxi Ash pretty good. Summon Wabina, use its effect. See, too strong. Wabina is too good. People just can't handle it. He's the strongest bird ever printed. So, yeah. Typical game for Flu. No statue, no problem. Bird is still the motherfucking word, people. And this duel, I'm gonna give you a good idea of what the Flu crew is doing without our little barrier statue. So, this is one of the first games I got from the Duelist Cup when I realized I needed video footage for this video. So, let's kind of show you guys an idea of what the deck can do now without the statue. So, unfortunately, I lost the dice roll. But, luckily for me, they played extra, so they're not playing some big old super duper mega board deck. Instead, they're just setting some back row and going to pass. So, turn over to me, draw for turn. Get my duality. Of course, I first have to extra, always for 6, because you don't use your extra deck, so who cares. So, let's see what happens. After I extra for 6, draw 2 dead cards. Cool. Alright, let's hope this duality gets in there. Use the duality. The 3 cards to get don't do anything. So I get the Ash Blossom, just in case. I think I was pretty sure they were on Eldlik because I came across it a couple times. Oh, and of course the most powerful combo in all of Yu-Gi-Oh! Map Wabina! Let's go! Alright, played the map, wheel the Wabina, banish the Eagle Win, because you know, it's the most powerful combo in all of Yu-Gi-Oh! Get so many rage quits, so many chain maxis, doesn't matter, let's do this. Alright, so, kinda just let this all resolve, get the new Simorg guy, well it's not that new, but you know what I mean. Get the Eagle in. You can't necessarily chain block exactly like you do in the TCG, but you can still get a body and a card on board. And after the chain resolves, you can kind of chain block still in its own way, which I'll show you right here. Because I'm going to tribute summon this Impin, because Impin ain't easy. So, use him, chain block with this bird, basically get a field spell so I can boost the attack of all my birds. Whilst also getting a Wabina for next turn. So, let all this resolve, get a field spell for the boost, and get the Impin. Because I got the trap, I'm just going to search the spell to tribute off his spells and traps to try to get them out of the way. Go into the battle. Always hit with the little guy first. Decide that's fine. For some reason he did it in attack mode. Just crash them, it doesn't really mean too much. And then get Indo with the Impin. Yeah. Big Impin, spending juice. Alright, so I'm going to set some back row, play this card, and just kind of end my turn. Alright, so come to their turn, they draw, contemplate all their life decisions, and then proceed to just set a back row, set a monster, to which I just go Dreaming Town, Wabina, time to chain block, with the Eagle in, and then you'll see why this is the most powerful card in Yu-Gi-Oh! You ready? Search the 3, summon the Eagle Win, use the Eagle Win to search the best boy, Mr. Mega Wiser, and then of course they see the Mega Wiser and they're like, you're too strong, can't win. Yeah. Flu crew for life. Okay, so this game right here could show you guys what happens when you draw a dreadfully shitty hand but manage to not completely fuck up and play your cards incorrectly. So, as it loads up, be me, you get to actually go first, draw this fucking terrible hand. You're like, well, let's hope for the best. So, I go with my boy Wabina, try to resolve it. Luckily they don't have a hand trap for it, thank Allah. So, get the Eagle in, summon the Eagle in. Has the Eagle landed? Yes, of course the eagle has landed. Why would I show you guys this replay if the eagle didn't land? Then you know exactly how shitty this would have ended up. So, from here, I decide to get Big Amp in, for some reason, rather than getting the trap because of how shitty my fucking hand is. I decide that I'm going to instead try to, you know, hope and wish and pray to whatever god is out there that this dweeming town can get to it. So, I play the continuous spell, use it, try to fix my hand by putting this other imp in, this big old Wiser, straight back, draw 2 cards, get punished, but I do at least have a Maxi and an Ash Blossom, so it's not completely dead. Alright, so on their turn, they decide to go Regeki. I'm like, well, that sucks. I can just get fucked. Big Imp and gone. They use this card to special summon a Runic. I'm like, cool, I'm gonna use this Maxi. And they're like, no you're not. So they chain, use the special summon effect. I get no draws. They try to use that to get the field spell. I'm like, well, I might as well use this Ash Blossom now. Proceed to use it, gets in there, they set 2, and they're like, well, this fucking sucks. I'm like, well, that's cool. So I draw for turn, get my Stwee, proceed to go, this hand still sucks, so I use this to try to correct it. So I put the Stwee back, put the Toucan Sham back, just so I have targets for Wabina. And I'm like, oh cool, I drew the Harpy's Feather Duster, only to remember that this guy prevents me from being able to destroy their back row. So, I'm like, well, I guess I have to brave through it. So, they negate my Wabina, sadly, but I have Mr. Samorg, Bird of Perfection, in my hand. So I summon him, I get my deck milled. Luckily, I'm playing 2 copies of the field spell, so this guy will still resolve, even though they banished one of my copies. So, it uses effect, send the guy, get the field spell, and then I'm like, oh, it's on like Donkey Kong, because I play this, activate it, get to use its additional normal summon effect because he's a wind, and they're like, oh, that's too much for me to handle. So yeah, good game, sir. Good fucking game. So there you go, folks. As you saw, no statue, no problem, just adapt and overcome. So, here is the Floowandereeze deck profile with the Master Duel ban list that I played in that video, or in this series of replays that you saw. So, not much has really changed. You play Flu, you play the same thing. 3 Wabina, 3 Eagle, 1 Stwee, 1 Toucan. There's no Shizu cards in Master Duel, so you don't really need to double up on the Stwee. And you kind of have the ability to just kind of play minimal copies that you need that you can search out or whatever. And also in Master Duel you have Max C, so that makes the Dimensional Fissure not too completely necessary. And also, as you see, I didn't craft Dimension Shifter because on Master Duel there's Sword Soul and there's still Despia Branded, which can both play around that card, so I just kind of figured that I'd just rather always have the ability for Max C to resolve. I'd just play another hand trap in the form of Ash Blossom and Joyous Springs, but going forward I might throw evenly matches into here just to kind of do the job. And as you can tell, I also still opt for double Mega Ryza because this card's really good, and because you lack the ability to just have a floodgate that stops them outright. When you do have your playing on their turn, I just found it a lot easier to use Ryza to try to control the board and bounce their stuff. I also decided to play a pretty expansive Samorg package of 3 of the level 4 that can send a guy to search the field spell, and 1 copy of level 2 that can either search this or the field spell. Just kind of depends on what you think you need at that moment in time. You could drop this down if you wanted to, but that's just what I was testing. And like I said, because Branded Despia is a thing, I'm playing the Ash Blossoms just to have a means to stop. And a lot of the replays, as you can see, the card does a lot of work, so it's really good. And then for consistency, there's triple duality, and because they limited prosperity on here, you just go with the extra. It does the same thing, basically. It's just awkward that it has to be at the beginning of your turn. And of course, since map is semi-limited, you play 2 copies of the Samorg field spell, which does the same thing, gives you another normal summon. But you could also play 2 copies of the Unexplored Winds. Card's really good, basically helps unbrick your hand. and contribute the opponent's stuff. So yeah, there's a basic deck list for you guys if you're looking to play statueless Floowandereeze, if unfortunately it happens here in the TCG. Now of course there's plenty of max C replacements. You can just play Shifter by that point since it won't matter. Or you can try Imperms, Board Breakers. There's a lot of things you can do. So regardless of your thoughts and how much you hate this deck, it'll still kind of function and live on. It just, you only really get one opportunity to do stuff on the opponent's turn, and you don't have an easily searched floodgate to just deal with the whole meta. But yeah, this is my statueless Floowandereeze deck profile for Master Duel. If you guys like it, you know, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, all that jazz. The end screen will explain the rest of it if you'd like to play against me. And yeah, just a quick aside, if you're curious why I haven't done anything in basically a month, it's because of the holidays, and I have other things that I had to get to, so Yu-Gi-Oh! Was just kind of not too terribly important, but of course, still got an itch that needed to be scratched, so I just decided to play this Master Duel deck for you guys. Of course, yeah. Happy holidays from Meh, Pig and Meh, and yeah. Deuces. So there you go. If you're interested in ever playing me in Master Duel, my information is, of course, right over there. You can find me on all that information and what have you. Feel free to hit me up, play me, add me, do whatever. Otherwise, this is Meh, Pig and Meh, signing up.